Hello YouTube. As you can see, I've got a G3 pony. This is from the Generation 3 pony line, and her name is Star Swirl. Well, and the reason why I featured her is because this is the pony that got me started in G3 in the first place. Because according to her story, she likes astronomy. So do I. And since this is just kind of just getting to My Little Pony, it's kind of a perfect combination. It works out for me. So. And this is not to be confused with the Star Swirl debuted in G4, obviously, but it came first, so... Yep, that's pretty much about her, but this is kind of also to lead me into why I'm making this video in the first place. So basically, you may not be aware of this, obviously I kind of mentioned it there, but I'm into G3. I kind of prefer it over G4, and the reason is there's a lot of... Because unfortunately, G3 has gotten a lot of bad rep ever since G4 came out. And it's a shame because I think if most Bronies actually looked at G3 with an open mind, they would actually see it's better than they realize it is. Because there's some things that G3 does better than G4 in the first place. Take, for example, they get along much better in G3. I mean, there's no arrogance. Nothing like G4 Rainbow Dash. And plus, a lot of the lessons that the main six are learning, G3 already knows. They know how to behave, they know not to judge each other by their looks. Oh sure, G3 ends up, they didn't realize Pegasus ponies existed, but that's because they had never seen one before, they'd never heard of one before. Which kind of brings me to my next point, the fact that while Twilight has a castle, G3 has an island, an entire island devoted to the Pegasus ponies. Oh, sure, yeah, you're gonna be like, why don't they live together? Well, they're very shy, actually, as it turns out. G3 Pegasus ponies are actually very shy. So yes, Fluttershy is not the first Pegasus pony to be shy in the My Little Pony design. This also kind of puts Twilight's castle to shame, actually. So. And then they have their own roller coaster. There's nowhere in G4 we have yet to see a roller coaster. They literally have their own roller coaster and you see it in I think Friends Are Never Far Away or Dancing in the Clouds. Now, part of the reason why I like G3 is because the movies remind me of my childhood, or anyone's childhood, to be honest, unless you've had a pretty rough childhood. But that's because as I said before, they get along. You're not really worried about anything, you know. Always looking forward to it, and another thing that G3 does better is the fact that in G4, Twilight just becomes a princess. Almost like, here you go, you're going to be a princess whether you like it or not. We're not going to train you, go learn it yourself. But in G3, Wisteria in the Princess Promenade actually gets physically trained by Spike. And yes, there's a G3 version, which I'll get to in a minute here. But she's treated much better, and Wisteria actually treats everyone the same way. That's how G4 should have done. But in G4, Twilight is actually almost treated as though she's above everyone else. She may not seem that way, but Celestia seems that way. And heck, in fact, at the very end of the Princess Promenade, spoiler alert, for those who probably haven't seen it, Wisteria actually makes others princesses too, just to show that they're all equal. They treat each other a lot better. Okay, now on to Spike. In G4, you probably already noticed, Spike really doesn't get a lot of recognition. You get no recognition for actually saving the Crystal Heart. And overall, he didn't get recognized for his own birthday. G3 Spike not only knows about Ponyville, he's actually the only one that knows the most about Ponyville. He's 1,000 years old. I'm sure he knows a lot more about himself. He gets recognized. They come to him for advice, not the other way around. Heck, he's got his own map for that has like multiple castles, like Friendship, and there's like 7 or 8 castles that are listed in the think it's Runaway Rainbow because that's when Rarity appears. The other Rarity. Which kind of brings up my next point is the fact that obviously there's a G3 Fluttershy, there's a G3 Rainbow Dash. And Rainbow Dash I actually like her a lot more. I know a lot of you are going to be cringing over the fact that she says darling too much. But I think I like her more than that because she's not arrogant like the G4 version. I'm sure she doesn't know everything about rainbows, but then who would? As she said. But she's everyone. I mean, up until Core 7, she actually had a much better personality. Of course, in Core 7, she's still, even her Core 7 counterpart is actually better than G4 Rainbow Dash. Because again, not arrogant. Plus, when we get down to it, the music is actually some pretty decent music in G3. I mean, if you actually hear the music in A Very Minty Christmas when it starts up, there's a Christmas song. That's pretty catchy. And then there's, in A Charming Birthday, there's a catchy version of the theme song. And then, even in Dancing in the Clouds, there's actually a pretty decent bit of background music when they're doing the whole butterfly roller coaster. Heck, probably one of my favorites has got to be Wish You Were Here from Greetings from Unicornia. That's really catchy. I mean, it's probably one of the catchier songs on the list. But look at G4. I haven't really liked much in the series at all. I mean, the Equestria Girls movies were probably the best thing that I enjoyed the entire way through. But G3, I don't mind any of the songs. I don't mind anything about them. They're much better. They don't relive being a child. So, and plus, if you look at some of the backgrounds in the G3 movies, there's a lot going on in there. I don't think there's that much detail in G4 at all. It's mostly very 2D. Oh, and that brings up the point about the Breezies. In G4, we know they're very vulnerable. They have very delicate. They're very hideous looking, just in my book. I know, no offense, those of you who like it, but G3, they already know how to fly. They don't know how to fly. They don't need any help from anyone. They can just fly. They just do it. They can come and go wherever they want. So it's... Actually, yeah, that kind of brings up the G4 theme song. I don't like that much. I never liked it from the get-go, really. The G3 theme song, it's relaxing. You can kind of get into it. Oh, sure, G3 doesn't have any, higher power ponies like Celestia and Luna, but that's probably a good thing. Given how Celestia has acted in the series, especially treating Twilight, it's like, oh no, you're above everyone else. So you're gonna hang out in our castle. We'll give you your own castle, and Twilight's the only one that actually has a castle in the series. I mean, technically, of the main six that has her own castle. None of the others do. They have to come to her castle to sit down, and even then, they're not treated as with as much royalty. They don't get to sit. They don't get to have their own throne. I mean, Twilight didn't get to do much. The best night ever. She didn't get to really do anything. Like, oh, I mean, yeah, I know that was before when she was a princess, but she really didn't get to do very much, even as being a princess. Hopefully, season 5 will improve on that, but it's been a long time. G3 gave it to us right in the movie. We actually saw Wisteria go through various training exercises to become one. Even then, she didn't have to. She practically wanted to, but was still willing to treat everyone fairly, regardless of who they were. And as far as I'm concerned, there's been no outrage. There's been no last roundup incidents in G3. Oh, and that brings up the toys. I don't know if you've noticed, but G4 doesn't really have a lot of variety. I mean, how often do we get a new toy? A new character? Once a year? Like twice every... It's not very often. We get most of the same stuff over and over and over again. This is sort of what Core 7 had a problem with. But G3, if you go back before the core 7 days, there's new stuff, there's new ponies every year, and not just one, there's like several. There's gonna be at least 10, 15 new ponies every year. They had a whole theme for each one. They had, celebration, the friendship ball, etc. And personally, looking at the character, like how they're designed, I like G3s over a lot more. Because I was able to look at G3 and instantly fall in love with them, but G4, it took me a long time to actually take a step back and actually watch the show. Because I didn't like it at first. I thought they were hideous. See, is there anything else I want to discuss in this? Or have I covered everything? I'm probably going to miss something. Oh well, if I pick up on it, I'll probably put it in the video later on. But thanks for watching.